you're here. Oh no. I'm sorry, Dana. I hope you feel better soon. Oh, I did send you an email, but you were obviously just busy, so I wanted to ask you. Oh no, that's so scary. Oh look, I printed out our crosses, and this was the image you liked the best. Is that correct? Okay. Did you want the bird like this in front of the cross? Did you want it on the perch? I will still do flowers. Do you want them these specific flowers, or do you want other kind of like roses in here? And then having the background of the cross be brown as in the wood? I can do that. I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of questions. Okay. Oh, I could do red roses. Did you ever see my Mother's Day rose? Let me just get my... Okay, let me just see if I have my red roses. So the painted ones come out like this, where they were painted, but we're going to do little quilt roses like that on the wooden cross. So imagine brown wood and then roses throughout. did like that? Okay. I also have, I'm trying to see if I have a front. This is another smaller rose that's just more of one individual. But you said you liked our, where did you go? So you did like our wreath. This one was the one you said you liked? Oi. Hold on, ahí estás. Okay, I can do those throughout the wooden cross. And then you want the bird in front. Did you want the bird like this in flight? I did get the picture that you sent me. And then I did get this from my Deborah. As far as the positioning of the bird, do you want it like this in flight or like this in flight? Or like this in flight? Which one speaks to you the most? Was it flying? These two are similar. So I want to make sure I can get the positioning correctly so I can get the spacing. So I'll do this first, and I can always quill this one separately and put it on top, so it'd be a layered piece. And it'll fit inside the shadow box. Shay, what are you sending me? Oh my goodness. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. You're so silly. Okay, let me, with the daisy. So open in flight. Ooh, I just got an idea. Oh, in fact, I have the sizing right here. And the reason I brought it out, let me also show you. I know you saw the other ones, but these are the other ones. The other ideas of the crosses. So pretty. Okay. I like working off different options and narrowing down what we like. So if our cross is here, would you want the cross in the center of the piece on the bottom? Let's kind of imagine this. We've got our piece. Hello, Maisha. Let me know if I lose you. I want to make sure you understand. So we got the 12 by 12. This is the piece, and it's going to be like this. I made this one at an 8-inch in height, so we can have something to kind of work still around. Do we want to have this be here a little bit to the side, the bird flying down like this, the wood cross with the roses on here, and then do you want to have an individual rose quilled here on the side so that it's like the bird is flying to the rose? Is that an option? How do you feel about that? And I forgot, I have the piece that we're doing. We have this here. It's only because you just said that, and seeing this picture, it looks like the bird is flying to the daisy, right? You said Mama loved red roses. Would you want this just like this in the center? Y así te lo dejo. I leave it like that, the cross center right at the bottom, so it's just the cross and the bird. I can add the hearts around it. Y así quedó. We leave it like that. Do you want the cross slightly to the side and it look like the bird is flying to the rose right here on the side? Hello, my Deborah. Just something not too overpowering because this is the center of the piece, but just an individual rose here on the bottom, basically where this white space is, because it looks like our bird is flying down to a flower. Do we want the bird like this, flying down to the individual rose? Y si no, I can leave it like this, center, and that's it. No hard feelings. I just want to make sure I bring you the best possible piece that you love. And sorry, my Spanish is coming out. Are you sure? When I'm gonna either way quill this individually on a piece and then place it on here, so we can always see how that looks, because this, just like this in the center, also looks beautiful. The wooden cross will be a little bit more woody so that we can have the roses throughout. But this picture kind of brought that idea to mind of the bird. It looks like it's flying to the flower. But I hope you liked the clouds. I know I had posted a video, but I didn't. Oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm not gonna cry. Yay. So I was first gonna do it in watercolors, and I didn't. I added too much blue, and I had more blue than white. I was like, well, this doesn't look like clouds anymore, so I started adding a whole bunch of other colors. I added golds and pinks and purples and more blues, and I made this just cool piece, but it's not a sky. So we have this one that I did in acrylics, and I was able to layer the colors on to bring out more of the white on the blues. I was really happy with how this came out. And I really loved how I was able to do the nice clean edges with my tape. My tape did not fail me as it normally does with my watercolors. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on a, let me see if it's, I'm gonna put this on a separate one so that I can cut it out and place it on here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do two different ones. I'm gonna do one of the cross, so it's gonna be filled, and we're about this tall. It's about this tall. We'll put it slightly to the side, and then we'll put the individual rows right here, and we'll make sure it's the right rows. We'll make sure it looks like it's supposed to be there, and we'll make sure it matches with the roses from here. And then we'll do the bird on another page, and we'll stack them on top so that we have the cross with the flowers with the bird on top, the rose here on the side, and we'll see what color hearts. Did you have an idea of the color hearts you wanted? We still have time. If there's one in particular you want, I will do that one. If not, we can see what colors we do after we finish the bird to make sure it all matches beautifully. But I'm excited. We have a game plan. We have our design down. So here's our sky. Where's my light bird? And oh yeah, that's a beautiful idea. We can definitely go with that. Now question, when you say yellow, you mean yellow like sun yellow, or do you think like gold? Is it the sun yellow? And we'll take out all the color swatches and I'll let you pick the best one you like. Sun yellow. Yeah, I can see that. That'd be so pretty. The sizing of this cross. Did you want the sizing of the cross like this, that you know, skinny like that? Do you want it a little bit more thicker so that we have more flower? But I know you liked the design of this, but do you want the cross this skinny, or do you want it a little bit bigger? Because I can do that where we blend the sizing. See how these are skinnier, shorter. This one's bigger. This one's more triangular. This one is slightly bigger, right? So I think if we do bigger, we're looking at these two. I'll move these to the side. I want to do all these crosses. They're so beautiful. So if it's between these two, my preference, a ver. We can do, let me show you something. This one is slightly wider. This one is wider on top for the arm length. So they're about the same size here. This one goes slightly wider, but I made them all 8 inches in height. So I can go with the shorter arm or with the wider arm. I like the wider arm since we're going bigger. Gives us more space for more flowers on the inside, more of the roses. That's in comparison. That's how much more we'll have. Right? Okay. So we'll do this design idea on a wooden cross this size. This individual design is my favorite thing to do because we're making our own thing out of the ideas of many different things. Okay. So this design, wooden cross this size with roses on it like this. And we will start with the frame of the wooden cross and then fill it with the roses quilled. Oh, hello. Thank you so much for being here with me. Okay, so let me see if this one was right up in there. I love it. Okay. Have I told you guys that I lose my roll of tape almost every day? I have it here and then I move it. And oh, there you are. Does she have a nickname? I won't ask for her real name, but if she has a nickname, I'll do a little shout out. breath and ready. Okay, so I'm going to use my little ruler just to help guide these lines. This is where we're just guiding out our wooden cross. Hold on. Every time I put my arm there, it was turning the light on. Okay. And we will continue on this side. Oh man. I'm not even ready to process thoughts like that. I feel for you because I know that deep love with a connection. Okay. So this is going to be our wooden cross. No, I mean, honestly, that's what you call it's trauma. You're going through the remnants of the trauma of it. And that must be so hard. Okay. So our wooden cross, do we want it a dark, rich wood? First, let me see if I have any cardstock in brown. If I don't, I am going to use the other paper. But let me just double check. Mr. Chaka, I see you. Oh, I do. Alrighty, now let's see if I have enough. It's always easiest to do the edges. Yeah. That was so cool. I'm happy I got to I caught the live and I had her in my ear the whole time. Caught her, catch her. I don't know how to speak right now. It's late night. I never know how to speak this late. Okay, I'm gonna need more than 2 pieces, so let's get all our browns. Okay, because that gives us the most crisp edge that we enjoy having. This is going to be the outside texture paper. You're so funny. Okay, So let's get to gluing that. Boy, I'm excited for this piece. This part of the piece, when we have the design down, and it's like you can see the direction that our piece is going. This is our sky, and this is going to be the background. And on top, we're going to have a wooden cross, and so that's what I'm going to quill right now. And inside our cross, I'm going to have roses throughout. So I need to add my glues. But thank you, Diana, for assisting me in putting together the most detailed piece that we can specifically for you. This is what I talk about, these one-of-a-kind pieces. They're one of a kind. The bird will be on top, as in this piece. And it's going to be in the direction of the bird that you sent me, my Deborah. So we've got a combination of wooden cross, roses throughout, our bluebird on top with our little hearts. So similar to these flowers, we're not going to go with these flowers, we're going to go with red roses. And if everything looks great, we're going to have this a little bit off center to the side. And we're going to have our bird flying towards a rose that's growing right next to this wooden cross. So I'm very happy with the direction. This is going to be a unique, one-of-a-kind piece that only you will have. So we set and prepped our glue, which is the quick dry. For the on edge, this is how we do it. We lay this one out because we're going to use this side. The awesome thing about this on edge, we're just looking at straight lines. That part is simple. We are going to, we want to paint the wooden cross in brown, correct? And then put the red roses on top. Did you want me to paint it dark and rich like this with the brown? And it'd be lined? I'm in control. I love when you guys tell me that, but it's also like, aha. Okay, let me do a little tester. Okay, where's our little paper? Okay, this is our paper. I'm gonna see how dark my watercolor looks in brown. If not, I'm gonna do the acrylic. It's my instinct to ask though. Because my goal is to bring your vision to the paper. So I appreciate you letting me know. I reuse my little water bottles, not water bottles, little jars for water, and I have them at my desk ready. Okay, so we can do this pretty dark. Let's do a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay, so this is our watercolor, and we want it, we don't want it too dark so that our red roses look good on top. And then we've got our acrylic. And that's what I really like about using the watercolor paper, because it is a heavier it's a heavier paper, so it can take the paint. I do like the acrylic. Oh, I know how I'm gonna know. Okay. So that is thank you for turning my water into a yucky brown. Okay. So these are almost about dry. That'll dry in a quick second because it's not that thick. But if I get my red out, we will see our roses. Okay, I'm just going to do a little mock-up rose. It's not going to be the way the rose will actually be in there, but just to kind of see how the colors bounce. What color is this? This is just straight up red. Okay. There are other reds. Christmas red. I feel like I had a deep red. Why is there a deep red in here? Is this the same red? Oh, it's more of a pink. Okay, red it is. I said, this is just a little mock-up of a rose. Just to get our background and rose combination to make sure the colors blend well together.
Just come lay down.
Oh, my little one. She's still feeling sick. Okay, and like I said, this is just a tester to see our brown and red combination. Yeah, my little 5-year-old. I have a 5-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Right now, the 5-year-old is the one that is struggling with a little cold. Okay. So my eyes instinctively like the acrylic, especially with the texture for the wood. It's not too dark. Oh yeah. Kind of like the way it has that texture for wood. What do y'all think? Y'all see it? And this is going to be like this on edge. It's going to be perfect, right? It's got a nice texture to it. See, this one would be like this. Feels a little bit too light. This one literally looks like a wood piece. Yay! Okay, so we're going with acrylic. So I instinctively would have gone with watercolors, but that's why it's always good to kind of see what our options are, because in seeing it, it does look really good together. It's not too dark, which was my fear, that it was going to be too dark, but it literally looks like a piece of wood. I actually have a piece that I did. I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Let me see, how could I find it? I think my Instagram. This was many moons ago. And I was so proud that I made it look like wood. Let's see if I can find it. Almost there. We're almost there. Little Sophie when she was a baby. So tiny. So I think I painted this when I was pregnant with Sophie. So we're getting closer. So it was this piece, and it was on a canvas, and I made the brown look like wood, and then I made it like this. Oh boy, I can't expand it, but I added the lines and I added little flowers. Let me see if I can do some movie magic. There we are, movie magic. Isn't that cute? This was many moons ago. This was, wow, 2016. And when I first got engaged, I painted this one. How cute. Oh, memories. That was when my love of art officially fully started. Oh, that was fun. Oh, and okay, lastly, this one was one of my favorites. That's when I fell in love with painting with gold. So this is going to be basic because we're starting off with just our acrylic. So what I am going to do is I'm going to add the paper and then paint on the inside. So let me see if I can still use this glue. Let's see. It's a bit tacky already. Okay. Let me find one more little square for my glue, and I'm going to have to redo that. These used to be little tabs in an organizer, like little inserts, but they make excellent glue holders. So I would use that glue that I prepped, but unfortunately in that time frame it already started getting a little tacky, and it needs to be a really quick so it can just have the most minimal glue. Oh my goodness, my arm keeps turning this on and off. Wow, to the glue, the timing. It's a quick dry glue, and that's what I really enjoy using it, because the time frame for it to really stick is so quick. Yeah, and I mean, it's still movable. It's still wet glue, but the tackiness. Look how. Let me see. So on that edge, it collected a lot more because it's thicker, already setting. And here, look at that thin, crisp line of a wet glue. That's perfect. Okay, so we are going to go with our long points. Let's go with our long points. Those are the most aggressive scissors I could find. Hold on. Oh, here you are. Delicate scissors, please. Hello, hello. We are rocking and rolling. Okay. Now let's get some exactness before I set the glue. rest well. Oh, I meant to tell you. Okay, so before you go, I had ordered the boxes to fit the shadow boxes. Unfortunately, I ordered 14 by 12 by 4 instead of 14 by 14 by 4. So, unfortunately, those boxes won't work. I didn't realize that until I was trying to put your frame in there, that it was the wrong size. So, tomorrow or right now when I get off the live, I'm going to order the new size. And I believe it said the shipping date would get here by the 17th. So as soon as I get that box, I'll be able to ship it out to you. I'm so sorry. I do not know how I mixed up that size. I know I specifically searched for 1414. But that does give me time to give you your custom thank you card. Yes. My Deborah is my artist guide. It's such an eye for imagery. Redo. Okay. I need to breathe. I need to reel it in. Of course you get a custom card. Every piece gets a custom card. Whether it's painted, hand quill and painted. One or the other, but it will be custom made. Okay. I had gotten a little excited. I can hear myself a little out of breath with excitement for this piece. So I'm going to calm myself. Look at me, I'm shaky with how excited I am for this piece. I'm gonna reel it in. We're going to reel it in and be calm. Enjoy the music. Take deep breaths. And my glue. Here it is. Thank you. Had I told you before that my husband composed that song? A tiny cross you shall have. Oh goodness. Glue. It's time to come out. He did, and it's on his YouTube page, and you can also purchase it on wherever you purchase your music from, whether it's iTunes or Apple Music, Amazon. The song is called Rise. He composed it about 2 years ago. beautiful. So if you search for it, his name is, oh, well, you know what? The best and easiest place for you to search it is on my website under Meet the Artist. I have his links on the bottom, so you don't have to search it anywhere, but his name is Philip Tamez. And if you purchase it, you can, of course, listen to it offline. If you want to just stream it on YouTube and Spotify, it's available. Like I said, it's called Rise, and his name is Philip Tamez. And it is so awesome. It's so funny. When I first searched his name on Amazon, I was like, oh my goodness, my husband, I can buy him on Amazon. It's so funny. My Deborah, why do you love me? What did I do to deserve your love? Oh, you're so sweet. I'm lucky to call you my friend. Once we nail down the details of this piece, Diana, I swear my heart just like bursted with excitement. Because we had the just idea of what we were going to do, but actually like starting it and finalizing it, it's a whole nother feeling for me. I tried not to cry, but I'm not gonna lie, when you send me the pictures, I did cry. Your mother's so beautiful. Good night, my Deborah. Oh yeah, let me finish gluing this part down so that can be settling while I show your beautiful mommy. He's live. Let me put him on my computer too so I can see he's live. There he is. It's a party over there. Alrighty, Asia, you have a good night. Okay. Here we go. Everything will be sealed. Okay, so let's get to painting the center. We're going to paint it with our acrylic paint. Thank you. My hand heart. It's so sweet of you. It is my candy. It's a custom design. We're working on the wood cross. Let me just finish filling up this paint and I'll go over the details again of the piece we're going to do. Yeah. Everyone jumped over to the party live. Okay. I'm going to angle it a little bit so I can get these details on the side. The cool thing is going to be filled in with roses on the center. So you won't see any edges. Yeah, and a little bit I'm going to add in the little detallitos. I try not to do too many because I always end up adding so much details to the backing of my paintings, and then I kick myself because I'm putting paper over. Working with a little bit of paint at a time because I know this piece will not take much paint and we can just move it around. I have to see over it to make sure I get the tiny details. I'm going to fill it with roses, and I'm going to show you the way the roses, oopsie, are going to look. But we're doing it on a wooden cross, so we're doing the backing first. To angle it this way. Like I said, all edges. Okay. Alrighty, we've got that. We've got that completed. Okay, just okay. It is. I don't know how to get you to see. It looks a little darker on the camera than it does in person. In person, you can see there's spots that are lighter, but I can still give it a little lightening. I'm going to do a little trick just to add a little bit more texture. Okay. It's just a slight lightening. Just giving it some texture throughout. Yay! Oh, it looks so cool in person. And either way, that's going to be behind the roses. And as always, I get excited and I start adding details. But, okay, we've got the background. And it's going to look great with the red. So I'm going to start on the red. So let me get my red. Actually, let me double check if I have cardstock red. I don't think I want to use it, but I'm just going to double check. maybe it's because my screen is dark. It might show me going away, but I'm only trying to brighten up my screen. 1 second. Okay, so we've got pinks. This is more of a pink than a red. So I'm going to go with the red, the bright red. Some of the centers, and then we're going to build around them. Oh, I was going to show you. My candy, are you still here? My candy, are you here? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Attention, candy. I see you here, but I'll wait for you to let me know. I was looking for you. Okay, so we're gonna do the roses in here. This is a wooden cross. The idea came from a piece like this that had flowers here, and I had the thought of a wooden cross. So we're combining yeah. So instead of these flowers, we're gonna do wooden cross with these red roses. And then our bird will be this inspiration right on the top, just as this bird is in flight. So it's going to be the full cross filled. Another layer on top is going to be our bird. And the way it's flying to the flower here kind of brought the idea of having the cross with the bird on top. Hello, Shelly. So the bird is going to be here in flight, and we're going to put another red rose right here to the right of the cross, the way this daisy is here to the bird. So that's going to be right here on the side. The wooden cross filled with roses like this. And we're doing this size cross. We'll have some yellow hearts, sun yellow hearts around it. And our background is our sky. Thank you. So we did the cross. I'm going to fill it with my roses next. And that's where we're at. I added little details throughout the cross, but it's going to be filled with roses. That's going to be going to be filled, not these, but it's going to be filled with the red roses. My music finished. I need to put it back. Hold on. Thank you so much. So I'm very excited that we put down the design and we're ready to roll. There we are. Okay. So I'm excited. We've got the design down, and now here we go. It's okay. Okay. So this can be a center, and we build around it. Or let me try. The other ones were bigger, so we're going to see what bigger looks like. Alan, is that you? Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by. Okay. So the other version of the rose is slightly larger. So there's centers, and then there's a bigger center. I'm looking at the other piece. Hola Marisol, bienvenido. Alrighty. Okay, my candy. I actually want to check something with you. Hold on. Okay. I wanted to know how you felt about these type of paper flowers. I looked up and I saw them to my side and I said, let me check with you. I have them in red. I can even do a combination if you want a combination, but I wanted to give you the option just because I looked to my side and I said, I don't know if you knew that I could do these type of roses for here. Let me show you what a red one would look like. I can still do a different size. I can make them this is 2.5. This is a 3 inch in size, and this is a 4 inch in size. Do you have a preference in how big they are? I can get those cut tomorrow in a richer red. This one's a little light. So this is a 4, a 3, and a 2.5 in size. They are still pretty good. Maybe the 3-inch is slightly bigger than the small one, but not too tall. And we can still have space for the bird right here. I could still do a sideways or larger one on the side. one over here to the side. So it depends with you. I am happy doing either. I know I'm giving you a lot of options, and I know you say, or you said that I have control, but I want to check with you how you feel about that type of paper flower. So a combo like I can do the combo of these inside where it's going to be more flush, and like have one, two, like on the corners of it. Oh yeah, like a combination in size. So this is a 3 and a 4 inch, and that's the, when I cut it, that's how the size of it this way. So this is 2.5. When I cut for this one will be a 4 inch, and this one will be a 3 inch. So I can do these two. A 2 inch would be too small. That's why these I ended up doing, oh my goodness. I ended up doing 2.5 for these because I needed to do it bigger than a 2, but I still wanted to do it as small as I could. I do love the richness of this darker red, so I can cut some new ones. And we can do both combinations. And I could still add, did you want like green leaves in there too? Like a little slight green leaf coming throughout. I'll cut those either way in case you want them. So I like how this was coming out. But when I looked to my right, I saw my wall of roses, and on one of them, I have this one. And I saw the red one, and I said, wait a minute. It's like that might be. Hello, South Carolina. I am in Virginia. So I will cut both 2 and 4, and we will do those red roses. I know. Oh, Chaka, I told you, let me know if she was, well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I just said it in my head. I wanted to have her on the computer too, so I could have heard her live. She never popped up on my list of people that I follow live. Okay. I know, I'm sorry. Well, it was in one of the photos. But it's not too late because I can get those cut tomorrow and we can add those very quickly. And it'll give me time to draw our bird. I'll draw our bird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that image. Let me add these flowers back in here. How did the light go, Chaka? Okay. So, look, I have a little jar full of oh, that's neat. Thank you for entrusting my art into bringing you something that you can truly treasure. So the way I did the pineapple is taking an image and drawing it so that I can put it in my Cricut design space. I'm going to draw the bird. I'm going to draw the bird with the line so that I can have the drawn image and put it on here so that we can do how we did this. And we'll do that on a separate paper and we'll put this on top. Oh my goodness. And I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I don't know that I've ever had it. And I don't know how it feels consciously. And my heart goes out to anybody who has it. Because I know it's been a struggle. Okay, so it's not lost. It wasn't a lost night. We got so much designing done and we are on a roll.
Oh, yes.
And yes, I'm actually going to be ending right now at 2. I need to be more conscious about our timing. Mommy, our dear mommy, Diana's mommy, this sweet angel, is who we're making this piece for. So the bird inspired by our Deborah's bird, or Deborah's dove, inspired our piece that's going to be this wooden cross filled with red roses, yellow hearts, and that blue bird with his wings open above this, with this sky, is going to be our design. And I feel truly blessed to be able to bring that to you, Diana. So you're a sweet mama. Your mommy. I call my mommy mommy too. She's so beautiful. So it will be in her memory that we make this beautiful piece. And I'm excited to bring it together. Thank you, Diana, for allowing my art to bring that to you. Ooh, you know what I can do? I can add these roses to our card. And there'll be a special card with red roses. two different color, I'm sorry, not two different size roses, paper roses, to fill this in. I'll do the smaller ones in the center where our bird is going to go over. But I'm not going to glue them so that we can put our bird on top and make sure we fit it fully. I will cut the flowers tomorrow. We can place those. And I will have our bird drawn so we can start quilling that, and then we'll add that as a second layer on top. Send you my prayers, Diana. Okay. I'm going to stop here so I can start prepping the sizing in my Cricut. Tomorrow I will cut on vibrant red paper. I've definitely upgraded my paper since I've cut those flowers. So I'm going to have a beautiful rich red that we can fill this. But other than that, it is 2 a.m. 2 a.m. will be my new cutoff point, just to make sure that I can kind of start taking control of sleep. Sleep is definitely something that right. Thank you, Jaka. I need to get back to sleeping. Falling asleep at 5 a.m. has definitely been tough. But I will be back with you guys mañana. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. Sleep is overrated. If it was just me, I'd sleep all day, work all night. But I have to adult in the morning. That's no fun. Who wants to adult? But I will be back, and I will try going live earlier, hopefully by 11 if I can. 10 or 11, depending on what's going on. Oh, nice. Enjoy the movie. Good night, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow.